evening, everyone. A very good evening, guys. Hope all of you are in your sound health and you have started your preparations and, of course, accelerated your performance and preparations for the upcoming exams. Yes, that is PGCET, MCA, and MBA. That is most probably to be held in the month of June, right? Last week of June, as per the latest notification. So, guys, once again, this is Komal Gyamlani Santani here. I welcome you all on yours favorite channel, that is Dhruvika Academy, where, as you all know, that we are running a live MCQ series on PGCET MCA-Mathematics. Yes, so that you can have an ace over all these questions and you can quickly solve them in the exams. So, guys, let's begin our today's wonderful session where we are going to do the very basic and important questions of permutation and combinations. Yes, you heard it right, guys. The topic that scares you a lot, the topic that confuses you a lot. We are going to have some good questions of that topic today. But before we start, let me just give you a small briefing about our wonderful, amazing batch running at Dhruvika Academy, which is SAMRAT PGCET 2024. This batch is exclusively for the aspirants preparing MBA and MCA. Guys, our batches have already started, and in order to register with us, you need to first join our WhatsApp group and Telegram group, where you'll get all the notes, contents of the lectures, right? And all the notifications regarding the exams, updates, everything you are going to get in the group only. So quickly be a part of these groups. That is going to provide you a very important information. Okay, and what are the features that we are providing you in this batch? That is, guys, we are providing you live classes to clear your doubts then and then with the faculty itself. If you miss the class, you always have a backup of recorded classes that you can watch in our app, that is Dhruvika Academy, that you can freely download from the Play Store. And then we are also providing class test, practice test, 50 plus mock test, along with entire syllabus coverage. And most important, guys, the classes are after your college timing, so no overlapping of both the classes. And if you get yourself registered with us now, you'll get automatically access to all the batches, all the upcoming batches till September. So, guys, quickly join our batch, because we are assuring you 100% results. And most important thing, guys, the cost of this batch is also very nominal. For MBA aspirants, it's 3,000 only, and for MCA aspirants, it's 3,500. At this low cost, you are getting what not, everything you are getting. So quickly register with us and start your preparations, because batch has already started, right? So let's begin our session, guys, because we are going to do very important questions today, or I should say the concept today. So be alert, be attentive. Okay, this is the topic where students actually get confused. Okay, the permutation and combination. So we'll do some exam oriented and basic questions today, and simultaneously we'll understand that when to do what in case of permutation and combination, right? So let's begin our today's session. Okay, so the topic, as I said, permutation and combination. Before I start with the questions, you should be clear with the term, that is permutation means we are basically talking about the arrangement, right? And when I say the term combination, we are actually talking about the term selection. Okay, now a very common confusion that I have faced, that I have seen in many students' mind regarding the permutation and combination, that is, they get confused that where to apply permutation, where to apply combination. So, guys, the way I teach the concept, I basically use only one concept, and secretly we'll apply permutation without using the term permutation. The way I teach is this: I have seen many educators giving a different formula for permutation, giving a different formula for combination, and then applying in the different scenarios. But guys, this is something that creates a kind of confusion among the students. So basically I employ only one way that I'll explain you when we'll do the questions, and that actually makes the question easy for the students. You'll understand this. Okay, so just give me a brief intro of the term, that is permutation and combination. See, combination, usually you have heard, means to select, right? This is something which we have usually heard about. This combination means that you'll be given n number of terms, n number of items, n number of options, and you have to choose some out of those, and for choosing it we apply the concept of combination, right? You have heard this. Okay, and permutation basically means what? Arrangement. Basically means what? Arrangements, right? So this is something which we know, but what we don't know, or what you actually skip regarding the concept of this thing, is that when we talk about combinations, that is when we talk about the selection, okay, combination means to select, right? Permutation means to arrange, right? Now students get confused when to apply the formula of combination, when to apply the formula of permutation. No need to have such confusion at all. Just you need to understand that yes, combination means to select, permutation means to arrange. But when we are arranging some items in a particular order, before arranging it, there is something implied which we must have to do before arranging, and that is basically selection. That is basically selection. So I'll just edit my statement, I'll just modify my statement just to make you comfortable with the concept. Permutation just not only means arrangement, but it also means combination plus arrangement. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to first select and then arrange. This thing should be pretty clear in your mind. So selection is secretly implied before arrangement. So basically in this chapter you need to be very clear with the three terminologies. First is arrangement, the second is selection, and when arrangement and selection together happens, we call it as permutation. So arrangement plus selection is equal to what? Permutation. Selection, we call it sweetly as combination. Okay, so we'll simultaneously understand how to do the questions. Let's have a look at the questions. Okay, see, the first question that we'll be doing is this. A very simple question in front of you. I've taken very basic plus exam oriented questions so that you are able to understand as well as you are able to practice the exam oriented question. The first question of today's session in front of you guys, it says, in how many ways letters of the word equation can be arranged? Okay, now read the question very carefully. In how many ways letters of the word equation can be arranged? So basically what is it talking about? Arrangement. Okay, and what we need to do, we have these letters forming the word equation. We have these letters in hand, and we need to find out the ways, in how many ways I can arrange these words. Now the words arranged could be meaningful, could be non-meaningful, that doesn't matter. What matters is in how many ways you can arrange it. Now before solving the question, always the first responsibility of yours while solving the questions of permutation and combination is, you need to see that whether any article is repeated or not given among the given choices. So just observe the word equation. Any letter repeating can you find? No. All the letters are unique in itself. No letter is repeating. Okay, so the question is, in how many ways the letters of the word equation can be arranged. Now you would be like, ma'am, you are directly coming to the questions. I will have to come to the questions directly because it's a practice session, not the conceptual class. But without any formula also, we can solve this question without telling you the formula of permutation, without telling you the formula of combination. Just by using the logic, we can solve the question just by using the logic. Okay, so don't worry, we'll make it, don't worry. Okay, see, so first responsibility is to see whether any item or article repeats or not. So in this case, no letter is repeating, that's fine. Now second, count the number of articles, items, letters, whatever. So here we have letters, so how many letters do we have? Just count it. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So basically we have 8 letters in hand, and all the 8 letters are unique in themselves. We need to find out the number of ways. Now a very easy way to solve this question. You have 8 letters and you have to make them sit at 8 places. We used to play chair race in the childhood. Yes, do you remember guys the chair race game that we used to play in the childhood? All the students in the live chat. This is something like that only. We have basically 8 places. We have basically how many places? 8 places, and to fill these 8 places we have 8 options. Okay, so in how many ways you can fill this 8 places? It's very easy. See, for the first place, in order to fill the first place, you have 8 options, so just write 8 here. Okay, now to fill the second place, now understand, in the first place you have 8 options to fill. Out of those 8 options, one might get settled here, one will get settled here. You will be left with 7 options, right? 7 alternatives. So for the second place, you have got 7 options to fill. Okay, now out of these 7, one will sit at second place, any one will sit at second place. Now remaining 6, they'll occupy the third place, so you will write 6 here. Then out of these 6, one will sit here, remaining 5 will move to 4th position, right? Now we have 5 positions to fill the 4th place. Now out of 5, one will sit here, right? You will be left with 4 options for the next place, that is 4, then 3, then 2, and then 1. Now this way what I did, I just filled the options that I have to fill a particular position. Okay, now you just need to multiply these options and you are done with the question. You just need to multiply the options and you are just done with the options, with the question. Just multiply it. Okay, now if you have ever studied the concept of permutation and combination, you might be familiar with the concept factorial, right? How do we express it? N factorial, or we write it like this, we make a L and put N on over it, or we write N and put an exclamatory sign after it. So we express in this way. Now what is factorial? Factorial is the product of the integers from 1 to n, including n. If I write 3 factorial, it means what? 1 into 2 into 3, 1 till n including n. If I write 4 factorial, it means what? 1 into 2 into 3 into 4. If I write 5 factorial, it means what? 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So this is what we call as factorial, and it's preferable to learn at least factorial till 10. Okay, so I believe this is clear in your mind. So observe these. See, 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. We have a sequence. So I can say basically what is this? Basically what is this guys? 8 factorial. Okay, right? So we have 8 factorial in the option, that is option B. So I believe this is clear in your mind. Yes, all the students watching the class, are you clear till this question? Are you able to understand? Are you able to make it? This is a very simple question, right? The case where you have n number of options and you have to arrange all the n options, and most important things, no item is repeating itself. Okay, so this is a very simple case. Now let's have another question in which you'll find some articles repeating. Okay, see, this is the question. In how many ways letters can be arranged from the word apple? See, you have the word apple, right? Now, what was the first responsibility that I asked you to do? You need to first see, is any letter repeating in the given options? Yes, we do have P coming twice. Okay, now for that we need to be alert. Okay, we need to be alert. Just write like this, P star, so that you remember that P is the letter which is repeating. P is the letter which is repeating. Now what to do if a letter is repeating? See, first make the situation assuming that as if there is no letter repeating. Okay, so how many letters do you find here? How many letters do you find here? Yes guys, I want your reply. Yes, how many letters do you find here? Quickly guys, waiting for your reply. I know many students are watching the classes. Please let me know. Screen is not visible to you? Just a second, I'll just see what has happened. Just a second guys, give me a minute. Just a second guys. Check, is the screen visible now? Yeah, now it's perfect. Okay, so let's continue. What is it saying? Yeah, I was asking how many letters you find in the question. Okay, see, some are saying 4 and some are saying 5. What is the correct one, 4 or 5? I said assuming that there is no repetition, how many letters do you find? That is 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, 5. Okay, so just write 5 places, right? Okay, now the simple case, how many options do you have to fill the first place? 5 options. I'll write. Now out of these 5, one will sit at first place. You'll be left with 4 options to fill the second place. So we'll write 4 for the second place. Now out of this 4, one will sit at second place and you'll be left with 3 for the third place. You will write 3 here. Out of these 3, one will sit at third place. You will be left with 2 options for the fourth place. You will write 2 here. And out of this 2, one will sit at this fourth place and you will be left with just 1 option for the fifth place. You will write here. Okay, so after that what we need to do, we need to just multiply them. So what will happen? 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, so just have a look at the options. You don't have factorial there, so you need to basically multiply it. So 5 into 4, that's 20. 20 into 3, 60. 60 into 2, 120. This up to this, there is no difference that we did in the previous question, same as here. Now come to the reality that there is a letter P which is coming twice. So whenever a letter is repeated, whenever a letter or a particular item is repeating, what do? We divide the factorial. We divide the factorial. Okay, we divide by the factorial. Factorial of what? Number of times that particular letter is repeating. See, P is repeating here 2 times. P is repeating here 2 times. So what we will do, we'll divide 120 by 2 factorial. We'll divide 120 by 2 factorial. If it would have repeated 3 times, I would have divided it by 3 factorial. If it would have repeated 4 times, I would have divided it by 4 factorial. So number of times it is repeating, of that value I'll take the factorial and divide it. Okay, so why we are doing this now, that's a broader concept. For that you need to join the batch course. Okay, so 120 divide by 2, that is 60. 120 divide by 2, that is 60. Okay, so I believe this is clear, right? Now let's proceed to the next question, guys. I'm taking forward this equation concept, equation wala question, to the further cases so that you understand well. See, next question related to the word equation only. It is saying, in how many ways the letters of the word equation can be arranged if it starts with letter Q. Now this is something where we have the condition. This is something where we have the condition. Okay, see, how many letters were there in the word equation? 8 letters, and we have already checked there was no repetition, right? We have already checked that there is no repetition of the letter. Okay, how many letters? 8 letters. So how many positions do we have? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, now what condition they have put? They have said that it should start with Q. It should start with Q. So guys, if the word is starting with Q, can you tell me how many options do we have for the first place? How many options do we have for the first place? We have just one option, that is Q. We can just make Q sit here, nobody else can sit here. So I'll say I'll have just one option for the first place, that is Q is going to sit here, nobody else. So I have just one option to fill the first place. I wrote 1 here. In the previous questions, if you remember, we had put 8 there because we were free to choose any letter could come at the first place. But here we have a condition. Now come to the second place. Out of 8 letters, Q sat on the first place. For the second place, you are left with 7 options. So write here 7. Out of 7, 1 will sit at second place. You will be left with 6 option. Write here 6. Then for the next position, you will be left with 5 options, then 4 options, then 3 options, then 2 options, then 1 options. Right? Now if you observe this thing, what is this? 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. This is nothing but the 7 factorial. So 1 into 7 factorial, that is 7 factorial. You have the options in the form of factorial, so you can write it as 7 factorial. So guys, I hope this is clear. I hope this is clear. Yeah. Okay, let's proceed to the next question. Yes. Now, a little bit twist. It says, in how many ways the letters of the word equation can be arranged if it starts with consonant? Now for this, you should know the concept of vowels and consonant, right? How many vowels we do have in English? We have 5 vowels, that is A, E, I, O, U. See, in permutation and combination, you will have to face these things: vowels, consonants, prime numbers, even numbers, composite numbers, odd numbers, like this, right? So you should know these terminologies. So what are they saying? How many ways you can arrange the letters of the word equation if it starts with consonant? So first, let's find out how many vowels and how many consonants do we have in this scenario. In reality, we do have 5 consonants, but in this scenario, how many vowels and how many consonants we have? So E is vowel, Q is consonant, U is a vowel, A is a vowel, T is a consonant, I is a vowel, O is a vowel, and N is a consonant. So basically we have 3 consonants. Basically what we have 3 consonants in hand. So what are they saying? That first position should be filled with what? Consonant. First position should be filled with what? Consonant. Yes? Just a second. So guys, for filling the first position, for filling the first position out of the 8 positions, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we have 3 options, right? How many options do we have? 3 options, that is Q, T, N. Out of 3, 1 will sit here. Okay, so we'll write 3 here. Then for filling the second place, how many options do we have? Now same logic. Out of 3 options that we had for the first place, 1 will sit here ultimately. Not all the 3 will sit at the first place. Only 1 will sit here at the first place. Now 2 will be left from here and 5 we already have. So again, for filling out the second position, we have 7 options, right? Then for the third position, we have 6, then 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, and then 1. So again, what is this, guys? 7 factorial. What is this? 7 factorial. What we need to multiply it by? 3, right? Because 3 is on the first place. So don't forget to put into sign in between the spaces, right? Now let's proceed to the another example of it. It says, in how many ways letters of the word equation can be arranged if it starts with vowel? So we have already seen there are 5 vowels here and consonants are 3. So for filling the first position, you have 5 options. How many options? 5 options. So out of these 5, 1 will sit here. You will be left with 4 vowels and 3 consonants you already had. So 4 plus 3, 7. Now filling the second position, you again have 7 options, then 6, then 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1, right? Okay, so 5 into 7 factorial, that's option A. Okay, let's proceed further, guys. Now combination of first place and last place. What is happening? See, in how many ways letters of the word equation can be arranged if it starts with consonant and ends with vowel? Okay, see, again you have 8 positions, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll first adjust the condition and then we will fill the remaining position. So what are they saying? The first position, the first place, if it starts with consonant, we had 3 consonants and vowels as 5. So for the first position, how many options do we have? Start with consonant. So we have 3 options to fill, right? For the last position, how many options do we have? We have 5 options to fill. So we'll write 3 at the first place and 5 at the first place. Now we do have 3 options to fill at the first place, but only 1 will sit. for the last place we do have 5 options to fill, but only one will sit out of those 5. So basically 2 options will be gone. Now all in all we are left with 6 options for the next position. So I'll come back to the second place. For the second place I am having 6 options to fill. Out of this 6, 1 will sit here and 5 will move on to next position, then 4, then 3, then 2 and then 1. Now observe, what is this? 6 factorial put into, so what is this? 6 factorial and 3 into 5. It's nothing but 15 into 6 factorial. 15 into 6 factorial. Okay. So I believe the question is clear in your mind. Okay. Then we have another question of this type. It says, in how many ways letters of the word Monday can be arranged if it starts with M and do not ends with N? Okay. Now see what have they said. Our first responsibility is to see whether any letter repeats. So observe the word Monday. Does any letter is repeating? No, all the letters are unique in itself. So how many letters do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically we need to fill 6 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what are they saying? It should start with M. It should start with M. So for the first place we only have one option, that is M. M can only sit on the first place. So I'll write here 1 because only M can sit on the first place. Now for last position, what are they saying? If it starts with M and do not ends with N. Do not ends with N. So N cannot sit. N cannot sit at the last place. Now imagine very carefully. You had 6 options. Out of these 6 options, M has already set on the first place. N cannot sit on the last place. Okay. So we are left with all in all 4 options for the last place. Do you agree with this point? We had 6 letters in our hand to fill the positions. They said M should sit at first place. Okay, we made M sit at first place. Now talking about last place, they said that it should not have N on it. So it is implied that M and N both are not going to come on the last place because M has already set on the first place and N cannot sit at last place. So basically out of 6 options you only have 4 options valid for the last place. So you'll write 4 there. Now come back to the second place. Okay. Now all in all 6 options you had. M sat on the first place. N cannot sit on the last place. So you had 4 options for the last place. Out of those 4 options, 1 will sit there and you will be left with 3 options. You will be left with 3 options from there, right? From there you will be left with 3 options and 1 will again be left, that is N will be left. So all in all you will have 4 options for the remaining places, or I should say in a summarized way that 2 places have been occupied by 2 options. You are left with 4 options. For the second place you will have 4 options. Okay. For the third place you will have 3 options. For the fourth place you will have 2 options and then 1 option. So you can see this is 4 factorial. 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, that's 4 factorial into 4. Okay. Okay. So I believe this is clear in your mind. So we have options like factorial also and actual numbers also. So we can just check it out. 4 factorial into 4, there is no such option. We have just A, which doesn't have factorial, right? So 4 into 3, 12, 12 into 2, 24, 24 into 4, 96. That is option A. So I believe this is very clear in your mind how easily we can do this exam oriented questions of PNC without even knowing the formula of permutation and combinations. You just need to remember the chair race game that we used to play in the childhood. For the first chair, how many options do we have? If the particular person sits on the first chair, we are left with this number of options for the second place. So it's something like the chair race that we used to play in the childhood. So guys, let's conclude today's session, and I'll bring some more interesting questions of permutation and combinations in the upcoming session. Okay guys, till then subscribe our YouTube channel so that you can get regular notifications and updates of the upcoming sessions, right? So see you in the next session with some more interesting questions of permutation and combinations. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Make sure that you solve all these questions. Bye bye.